I'm Ryan Betzing. I've been a member of the Vessel for 2 or 3 years now. Most of my adult life, I said I was a Christian because I thought I was a good person, and I thought that's what being a Christian meant. And I actually had a friend we were actually going to a disc golf tournament, and he asked if I had been saved, and I told him I didn't know what that was, and he kind of explained it, but I didn't really understand it. After the event was over, I was taking him back home, and he asked if I wanted to be saved, and I said sure, and so we prayed and asked Jesus to be Lord of my life. But then, I continued on with my life. I probably went out drinking that night. But it definitely made me realize that I hadn't understood what being a Christian meant. And so it planted that seed, but I continued down the path that I was on, which was just being as far from God as I think I've ever been. Emily came into my life. We had Addison, great family, got married. She realized pretty quick that my drinking was a problem, just because I don't have like an off switch. Once I have a drink, I just want to keep drinking until either I pass out or there's no alcohol left, and that's pretty common for alcoholics. I told her I'd quit. I tried to quit, and actually, like when we were doing our men's Bible study, the story of the serpent and the way it approached Eve, it reminded me of back when I was trying to quit. The voice in my head would just be like, well, she just doesn't want you to have fun. Just this sly little voice that tries to convince you that you're justified in whatever it is that you shouldn't be doing. Instead of quitting drinking, I just quit drinking around her and started binge drinking when I went out of town for work, which obviously not a good situation. I went way too far and ended up drinking and was still drunk at the conference that I was at. I wasn't aware of how drunk I was, but everyone there was, and they called and told my employer, and all of a sudden I was, took a 2-week suspension. I thought I was gonna get fired. Emily was like, this is it, you have to fix this. I'm not raising a baby in an environment where this is going on. We went out of town, and I brought my Bible, and I just knew I couldn't do it on my own, and I just said, God, just please take this from me. Like, just hit my knees, prayed, read scripture, and that was 6 years ago last week. Even just thinking about drinking a beer doesn't seem refreshing or appealing. It seems like it just wouldn't taste good to me. Like, he took that from me. A couple of years after I was sober, I had a friend that called me one morning, and he just said, hey man, like I just got done, being gone all weekend drinking. I think I have the same problem as you, and I need help. And so, I just talked him through like how important it is, how much my life's better, like not having hangovers, not having your wife, always ticked off. I saw on Facebook the other day that he just celebrated 4 years sober. So that was really encouraging. And so my mornings now, my relationship now is, I come out here. This is my little spot. I get out here before the sun comes up, and I pray. And sometimes I listen to music. I have the Bible Project app, and I go through a reading plan, and just sit here with God. It's super quiet, and that's something I wouldn't have had before, because it's 5-6 a.m. I was always hungover at that time before I found this freedom.